Carla Jennings thought she had found relief when she strapped on the red light therapy belt, but within weeks, she was dead. Her sister Naomi refused to accept the official explanation, and what she uncovered led to a horrifying truth hidden beneath a billion-dollar wellness empire. Owen Dale had always been fascinated by the intersection of biology and technology. He wasn't a doctor or a scientist, just a man with big ideas and enough charm to get investors on board. When he launched Vitalbium Technologies and introduced the red light therapy belt, he sold it as a breakthrough. It promised to reduce pain, aid fat loss, and optimize sleep, all through the power of red light frequencies. The product exploded in popularity. Health influencers posted daily updates, gym enthusiasts claimed record-breaking results, and talk shows invited Owen to share his vision. He became the face of wellness innovation, praised for offering a high-tech solution to everyday discomforts. The belts were sleek, portable, and paired with a mobile app that allowed users to track their progress. Everything about it seemed safe, effective, and futuristic. But in a quiet apartment in Portland, Carla Jennings wasn't convinced. Carla had always suffered from lower back pain due to a car accident years ago. When the red light therapy belt went viral, she decided to try it after seeing a glowing review from someone with a similar injury. At first, it seemed to work. She felt looser, more energetic, but after a few weeks, things began to change. She became disoriented, waking up in strange positions. She reported headaches that started during sleep and a growing sense of unease. At one point, she woke to find the belt flashing a color she hadn't seen before: deep red, almost blood-like. She brushed it off, assuming it was part of the night mode. Then she began forgetting things. Important dates, familiar routes, even the names of acquaintances. She documented everything in her personal journal, but didn't tell anyone else. On the night of her death, she sent one final message to herself, scheduled as a calendar notification. Belt turned red again. Woke up freezing. Felt watched. Investigate app. Her body was found 2 days later by her landlord, who entered after smelling gas. The belt was still around her waist, its indicator light off. The cause of death was ruled as cardiac arrest. Police found no signs of foul play. The belt was not examined. Her death was chalked up as tragic but unrelated to the product. Vitalbium made no statement. To the world, it was a non-event. But her sister Naomi knew something wasn't right. She remembered Carla's growing paranoia and her mentions of weird side effects. She decided to find out what the belt really did. That's when the nightmare began. Naomi Jennings had always trusted her instincts, and this time they screamed that Carla's death wasn't natural. Grief weighed heavily on her, but she forced herself to go through her sister's apartment, searching for answers. The police had already combed through the place, but Naomi noticed they had ignored Carla's electronics. Her laptop was still there, along with her phone, tablet, and a small external hard drive. Naomi took them all home. What she found over the next few days changed everything she thought she knew about her sister's final weeks. The laptop contained a series of files, oddly named and buried deep in a folder marked therapy notes. They weren't just notes, they were journal entries. Carla had kept a meticulous log of her experiences using the red light therapy belt. It started off normal, entries about feeling better, improved sleep, and less pain. But as the days went on, the entries grew darker. Carla wrote about waking up confused, sometimes convinced someone had been in the room with her. She described periods of missing time, gaps in her day she couldn't explain. The belt had begun to glow in different patterns, and its intensity sometimes increased without her activating it. One entry stood out. She claimed to have found a hidden function in the mobile app linked to the belt. It didn't appear on the main menu. She found it by accident while adjusting settings. The function, labeled Core Sync, had a warning screen that flashed before disappearing completely. After that, Carla began experiencing nightmares, where she couldn't move or speak, episodes of sleep paralysis that always began with the red glow from the belt. She uninstalled the app but found that the belt kept syncing to her phone automatically. Naomi dug deeper and found a strange file in the hard drive labeled Pulse Analysis V2. It was encrypted. She uploaded it to a private server and contacted a cybersecurity expert she knew from work. He agreed to decrypt it. When the file was finally opened, it revealed biometric data, dozens of pages of heart rates, brainwave frequencies, and stress levels recorded at precise intervals. All of it matched Carla's recent activity. Naomi's breath caught as she scrolled through it. The belt hadn't just been emitting light. It had been watching, tracking, and possibly influencing Carla in ways no wellness product should. The deeper she looked, the more convinced she became that her sister had stumbled into something far more dangerous than faulty tech. Naomi couldn't stop thinking about the hidden app Carla had mentioned in her journal. The normal red light therapy belt app was polished and straightforward, filled with health tips and device settings. But Carla had discovered something deeper, something that had frightened her. Naomi scoured her sister's old phone, eventually finding traces of a hidden APK file, manually installed from a web link that didn't show up in any search results. Naomi copied the link into a secure browser. It directed her to a private page labeled VitalBeam Sync Pro. The download was no longer active, but the URL's metadata revealed the name of a hosting server located in Vermont. That discovery would take Naomi further than she ever imagined. Determined to uncover the truth, Naomi rented a car and drove for hours to rural Vermont. The coordinates led her to a fenced property hidden in dense woods. There were no signs, no logos, just a small metal building with no windows. Surprisingly, the door wasn't locked. Inside, she found a room filled with humming servers and tangled wires. The air was sterile, cold, and quiet until she walked into the back room. There, stacked on steel shelves, were dozens of red light therapy belts, some sealed, others opened, with handwritten tags attached. A large board on the wall held rows of names, each with a date, a biometric code, and a red, yellow, or green sticker beside them. Near the bottom of the list was Jennings. Carla read. Naomi's heart pounded as she opened a nearby laptop left running. It required no password. The screen displayed rows of biometric data sorted by user ID. She clicked on Carla's profile. It included detailed logs of her sleep cycles, hormone levels, and even brainwave activity. There were markers for emotional responses recorded at specific hours: fear, panic, compliance. Naomi realized the belt had been tracking far more than anyone had been told. More disturbing was the existence of a program labeled Stimulus of 14 Phase 3. Before leaving, Naomi copied all the files to an encrypted drive. As she exited, she noticed several cameras mounted in the corners of the room, silent observers recording everything. She had just trespassed into a secret testing facility tied to a consumer product. The belts weren't just health gadgets, they were part of a human experiment. And now, Naomi had proof, but she also knew someone would be coming for it. By the time Naomi tried to go public with the information she had uncovered, it was already too late. Everything she had gathered, the encrypted files, the biometric data, the photos from the Vermont facility, was stored on both physical drives and the cloud. She reached out to a journalist known for uncovering corporate corruption, but he ghosted her after their first call. Her emails to advocacy groups went unanswered. The few people who initially showed interest either backed away or disappeared without explanation. Then the break-in happened. Her apartment door was unlocked when she returned one evening, though nothing had been taken. Her laptop, however, had been tampered with. The hard drive had been wiped clean. The backup devices she had carefully hidden were gone. At first, Naomi thought she was being paranoid. But when her phone stopped working the next day and her bank accounts were frozen due to suspicious activity, she realized someone was deliberately trying to erase her. Calls to customer service led nowhere. Her social media accounts were hacked, scrubbed of any reference to the red light therapy belt. Photos, posts, even private messages vanished. A black SUV began appearing near her building, parked for hours, always empty. She began changing her route home and using cash, feeling like a fugitive in her own city. Still, she pushed forward. She uploaded a heavily redacted version of her findings to an anonymous forum used by whistleblowers. Within hours, it was flagged and taken down, but someone had seen it. A user under the name Signal Dust contacted her with more information. He claimed to have worked with Salon Systems, the defense contractor mentioned in the internal VitalBeam documents. He warned Naomi that the belt wasn't just a commercial product, it was part of a covert behavioral mapping project. He sent her a list of individuals flagged as reactive subjects. Carla's name was on it. So were several others who had died suddenly or gone missing. Each had reported strange symptoms. Each had used the belt for more than 3 weeks. Naomi cross-referenced the names and confirmed they had all bought their devices from the same distributor listed in Carla's invoice. It became clear that VitalBeam wasn't just covering up a malfunction. They were silencing anyone who got too close to the truth. And now, Naomi realized, she was next in line. Naomi knew she couldn't rely on traditional channels to expose what she had uncovered. Every time she reached out to someone with influence, they either vanished, denied involvement, or publicly discredited her. The campaign against her had become sophisticated. A fake diagnosis claiming she had mental health issues appeared in a leaked document online. Her landlord received an anonymous tip accusing her of illegal activity. Friends began distancing themselves, unsure of what to believe. But Naomi remained focused. She had one final plan: to release everything in a live stream, raw and unedited, so the public could decide for themselves. She pieced together the last of her evidence: video footage from the Vermont cabin, screenshots of the biometric data logs, audio clips of Vitalbeam executives discussing psychological elasticity thresholds, and the most damning of all, a short video secretly recorded by a Vitalbeam technician. In it, an unconscious test subject lay strapped to a table, a red light belt wrapped around their chest. Electrodes connected to their head blinked in sync with the belt's pulses. A monitor showed spikes in brain activity as a voice off-screen stated, "Subject 14 entering elevated compliance phase." Naomi scheduled the live stream for midnight. She created multiple backup streams in case the primary one was blocked. She had a burner phone and a remote location secured. As the clock ticked down, she stared at the screen, knowing that once she clicked "Go Live," there would be no turning back. The broadcast began and quickly gained traction. Thousands joined, then tens of thousands. Hashtags spread. The footage played without filters, without edits, revealing every sinister detail. But 20 minutes into the stream, her signal was cut. Every backup link failed. Then her devices powered down one by one. Outside, she heard a vehicle engine. Naomi ran, abandoning her gear and heading for the woods behind the safe house. She never posted again. No official report of her disappearance was filed. Her apartment was emptied within days. Her name faded from the news cycle. Months later, Vitalbeam Technologies quietly merged with a biotech startup. The red light therapy belt returned under a new name and rebranded for sports recovery. It sold well overseas, away from scrutiny. Occasionally, users still report strange dreams or faint red flashes in the dark. A few whisper that the belts are watching, recording, learning. But those stories get lost in comment sections or flagged as conspiracy. And Naomi's warning, though erased from the mainstream, still lingers in fragments across the internet. If the belt pulses when you lay asleep, don't wait. Take it off and never use it again.